The spotlight was squarely on the Hub Indoor Sports Complex in Centralia, Washington for Prep Baseball Pacific Northwest preseason. All-state, a whopping 187 players, including four Power Four commits, were among the Washington and Oregon invitees from the classes of 2025 through 2028. But Shooter Hunt, he has his sights on the future in the classes of 2027 and 2028 with his must-know underclassmen as we bring you another coffee and curveballs. And Shooter, I have to say, it's fitting that with a focus on the future, that Glacier Peak, Washington brought a first baseman named Emmett Brown, sharing a name with the time-traveling Doc from Back to the Future.
Oh my gosh, look at you just throwing out all the fun quotes. But each year I look forward to this event because in the Pacific Northwest, which I am now a transplant here, guys kind of elevate their status, or there can be late bloomers, but we've had unreal draft success the last few years. Adley Rushman going first overall. You have multiple first rounders from the pitching side of things. When you're thinking Mick Abel, Noble Meyer, you go up to J.R. Ritchie. They're just dudes all over the place. But one of my favorite ones right now is down at LSU, a kid named Daniel Dickinson, who has a chance to be a top two rounder this year, who was at this very event, the preseason All-State back in 2021. So who's going to be the next Danny Dickinson?
Emmett Brown, by the way, much more than a fantastic name. The top-ranked first baseman in Washington in 27 had exit velos up to 104.1 in this event, so he delivered. But
No big
Shooter,
deal.
let's get into your list. At the top, it's Washington outfielder heavy to start. You've got Kent Lake, 2028, Noah Adams running a 6.95 in the 60 with 90-plus exit velos. Eastside Catholics, Kobe Reese, the number one player at the position in the state in 2028, and the top outfielder in the state in 2027, Reese Johnson, a former junior feature gamer out of Kingsway Christian, triple-digit exit velos. Those guys absolutely all delivered.
Yeah, I think you can count on seeing some of those guys at the future games this summer, which are going to be outstanding. It was good to see what the potential 2027 group will bring for them. But you talk about Reese Johnson, who's a guy we've seen for the last 2 years. I thought the swing was even looser, the wrist, everything was working more fluidly because it's a big 6'4", 215 frame. It's what you expect in these Paul Bunyan Pacific Northwest kids chopping down the evergreens. So he's definitely going to be one of those power bats from the left side. You talk about Kobe Reese, who's a 2028 guy who I thought really showed out. I was getting texts throughout, like, I love the swing in person, put out a video on Twitter, and I'm telling the people who are saying that's a great swing that it was even better in person. And he's another guy who's ultra projectable. We have these big physical kids up here in the Pacific Northwest, and he's one of those guys just going to add to it. Those are some big hitting sluggers. Looking forward to see what they do this spring.
What about Noah Adams? I know he was atop the list for you.
Yeah, Noah Adams, another really good one that I think when you come up to the Pacific Northwest, like, you have to keep in mind that it's not Florida, it's not Texas, where a guy's going to continue to just get all those at bats early on in the season. This is a guy you want to get him to see throughout April, late May. The weather's warming up, and then all of a sudden, by the time July hits, he's exploded.
Flipping to Oregon, Sam Smith looks electrifying as the state's top-ranked player in 2028 from Central Catholic. Outfielder gives you a 6.96 in the 60, exit velos into the 90, and he can hop on the mound as well.
I mean, super mature already as a freshman. The at bat, or the swings that he took throughout batting practice, you expect that from a senior, not from a freshman. But everything moves well, really quality movement patterns, can turn the barrel, stays in the zone, work the middle of the field, line drive after line drive after line drive. And then kind of looking over my shoulder, I'm like, oh, this kid pitches too. He moves well on the mound, just the same. Central Catholic, a really good hoops program, but also a good basketball or baseball program. Looking forward to hopefully seeing him on the varsity level, where, Cory, you may know the Portland Pickles, who are very famous out here. That's where Central Catholic plays a lot of their home games, over there at Walker Stadium. So I'll hope to see them over there, maybe with the Pickles mascot in attendance.
Okay, love it. Another outfielder, and one with some major league bloodlines in Tumwater, Washington, Luke Overbay, son of 14-year pro in Tumwater coach Lyle Overbay. Luke, a top 20 player in the state in 2027. Certainly looks like the bat plays for this former junior feature gamer.
Yeah, shout out to Lyle Overbay, who hosts us at the wonderful facility there at the Hub for the last, I guess, almost 5 years. Great place, does a great job. Lyle is just salt of the earth type guy, which Luke is the same way. Blue collar, just steps into the box. Who is this 6'4" monstrosity who's just banging balls all over this facility? I think even more so, his polish from last year to this year, he's gotten better. So you start looking at the progressions, which is something I love to see, those freshman year, hey, where did he get to as a sophomore? Luke Overbay's made those jumps, and I'm excited to see what he can do this summer after the spring, but he's going to get more at bats, and I think his upside is immense, especially when considering he's got those great bloodlines.
The Arms are led by South Salem, Oregon's Harrison Buckingham, the state's top-ranked righty in 2027. Has some spin that certainly jumps off the page. And you've got Washington lefty Austin Galucius, number 2 in 2027, another guy with plenty of spin. And Union Washington 2027, Rylan Howe brings a power arm with a 6'4" frame.
Yeah, I think Buckingham really is another guy who's made that jump. We saw him last spring. He actually came into a game late for that South Salem Saxons team, which was outstanding that last year. I think they're kind of a dark horse this year to win the state title, which we'll see what happens. But he had a great finish to the summer, really moves well on the mound. And then he steps in there like this guy has made that jump into, hey, I think I'm pretty good, to I know I'm good now. Up to 91. It's a full arsenal, 6'2", 185, fits the frame mold for everybody that's looking for a starting pitcher. And then the slider has a chance to be a separator. It's a swing and miss pitch. I think it's only going to get better. He's shown a really good changeup in the past. When I saw him last year as a freshman in that state playoff, I'm looking very much forward to some of those big games that South Salem will be hosting. I'll be there. It's a short porch, so he better keep the ball down.
A really intriguing two-way and Wyatt Plyer out of Washington, the summer 2027, fourth in the state overall. This guy's got a toolbox so loaded it should have a Home Depot logo on it. He runs a 6'5" in the 60, has exit velos near 104, 93 outfield velo, and runs the fastball into the 90 shooter. I'm in.
You know what? It's crazy. And again, I'll bring up the Danny Dickinson, because if I go back to his video and seeing like, this is still raw, I wouldn't have taken down too many big notes on a guy like that. But he continues to get better. The upside that these Pacific Northwest kids have and their ability to keep making those progressions is huge. Plyler has that under his belt. Two-sport kid, also plays football, runs a 6'5", 160. He's 104.9 off the bat. The swing from the summer to where he is now, I don't know who he's working with. Maybe it's dad, maybe whoever, the facility. It looks great. But he gets into a great position to hit. Ball jumps off the bat, obviously, and then you add that athleticism. You want to bet on athletes who are aggressive.
The top-ranked shortstops in both Oregon and Washington get some love, and let's start with Ducks commit Manny Enger, 2027 out of Lake Ridge. I know the 6'4" frame and the power potential stood out big time to you.
I mean, shoot, it's almost Connor Griffin like the frame. If you step in there, it's square shoulders. He's 6'4", and you're like, is this what it looks like? But shortstop, he's going to have to show it at the varsity level this year. Lake Ridge, a really good program. It's produced some good draft names, including Paul Wilson from a couple of years ago. I think he's got a chance to really continue to excel. Obviously, athleticism's there. He's got a lot of stuff where he can rest on just the fact that he's more athletic than everybody. As the skill continues to harness itself and to really make itself more polished, I think he has a ceiling that few can match.
Meanwhile, Kent Lake, Washington's Lincoln Moore, the number 1 shortstop in the state and second overall in 2028. Screams must follow. You got near triple digit exit velos, speed, and the 2024 junior future gamer has a very mature presence at the plate.
I mean, Lincoln Moore's an impact national guy right now. Just slam dunk. He steps in the plate. You forget that he's a 2028. You forget what year he is. This is what it looks like. It doesn't matter if you're in Florida, Georgia, Texas, California, New Jersey, Illinois, Washington. That's a dude. So Lincoln Moore is a guy that I've circled. This is a must follow. I know he's just a 2028. He's already made a national impact. Hoping to see him in the super sophomore games later on the West Coast. But that's a guy who is an impact national name. Coaches are going to want to circle. I'm sure he's going to be going to camps, but he can go pretty much all over the country and make an impact.
No doubt youth being served in the Pacific Northwest, and some names I firmly expect we'll see when Team PNW descends upon Lake Point Sports for this summer's future games. And we've always got something brewing for you on Coffee and Curveballs, so make sure you keep it locked right here. Until next time, I'm Cory McCartney, that's Shooter Hunt, and we'll see you at the Diamond.